Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. As Jews, we're always focused on the mitzvah. Mitzvah is the good deeds we do to make this world a better place, to impact positively those around us and the world we live in. But the name of this week's Torah portion is Titzaveh, which comes from the word commandment. God tells Moses, Va'ata tetzaveh et bnei Torah, you command the Jewish people. And from there is the root word of mitzvah. And in fact, in Aramaic, the word titzaveh, the word tzavta v'chibur means to connect. Because the whole idea of a mitzvah is not just to better the world, and not just to better those around us, but to connect us to the Almighty, and to connect us to our mission, and to the Jews around us. And that's the name of the portion, Va'ata tetzaveh. And that's why the rabbis tell us two things that are important. First of all, never underestimate the power of a mitzvah. Don't say this is a smaller mitzvah, this is a bigger mitzvah, because we don't know the power of the mitzvah, and we don't know more than that it connects us to God, which every mitzvah does. But also something else. Shemitzvah gereres mitzvah. Every mitzvah leads to another mitzvah. So you might think, oh, this mitzvah is small, this connection to God, big deal. It's not so big. It's not going to make the biggest impact. Why should I do it? But the truth is, you don't know what it's going to lead to. The chain reaction of your mitzvah, of your connection to God. So when a Jew does a mitzvah, he knows he's connecting to God and he's doing the right thing. And then he lets the rest happen from it. And that's what we've been doing for thousands of years as Jewish people. This week I heard a remarkable story which taught me about the power of one mitzvah leading to the next. There was an observant guy who was visiting for months in New York and Florida at a big conference that was taking place. The name of the conference, I think, is Epoch. And he finished the conference one day and he was walking right outside the hotel where the conference was. And as he was turning a corner, there was a man that had two Rottweiler dogs. And he must have startled them, he must have shocked them. And the dogs jumped at him and attacked him. And the owner tried to get the dogs, but he had already lost the leashes. They ran off and they were scratching the guy and bruising him. And finally, desperately, the owner pulled away the dogs. And immediately, he felt so bad and he apologized. He said, what can I do for you? I'm so sorry. He said, don't worry, it's okay, the observant Jew tells him. But suddenly, all the people come out of the hotel and they say, no, you have to press charges, this is terrible, etc. And the guy starts crying. The guy says, listen, I've been through so much trauma lately. These are the only two dogs, are the last things that connect me, are close to me. If you call the police, they might euthanize the dogs, they might put them down, and then I won't have this such emotion. I'm begging you, please don't do it. And the Jew says, listen, the observant Jew says, I'm not going to call the police. I'm not going to press charges. But the hotel manager saw and says, I'm calling the police. And of course the police come. And the police tell him, listen, we could press charges, and if we press charges, we'll take the dogs away, etc., etc. And the Jew says, listen, thank God I'm fine. I don't want to press charges. It's all okay. It's fine. And the guy looks at him and says, please, could I go get you something? And he runs to CVS and he gets him Band-Aids and Neosporin and everything he could to try to help him. And then he said, tell me, what could I do? Could I pay for your clothing, something, at least to repay you for this kindness if you're not pressing charges? And the Jew says, no, I don't need your money. I don't need anything. And then the guy says to him, by the way, I'm also Jewish and I come from a Jewish family. So the Jew says, I'll tell you what you can do for me. He says, tell me, you said you're going through an emotional time and a challenge. When's the last time you put on tefillin? Tefillin is phylacteries, right? It's what Jewish men over 13 put on every day. And the guy says, he thought the guy would say maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The guy says, to be honest, I've never in my life put on tefillin. So he says, listen, how about you put on tefillin in my honor, and really it'll be in your honor, because you can use that connection to God and that spiritual moment to comfort you in your challenges. So they put on tefillin, he wrapped the tefillin, he said the Shema, and he said, please take a picture with me so I could send it to my wife, so I'll be so proud. And they took a picture together and sent it to his wife. So that's mitzvah number one and mitzvah number two. First, he was kind enough not to press charges, because he understood it was an accident and the guy would be more careful and he didn't want to hurt him. And then the guy ended up wrapping up tefillin. But then, the Jew from Monsey said like this. He said, everything is by divine providence. Nothing happens by chance. What happened there? And he says, to be honest, I came to this meeting and I'm an introvert. I was a little overwhelmed. I'm at this conference and I need to sell myself and tell people about what I do and let people know who I am. But it's not really who I am. And I was uncomfortable and challenged to go sell myself to people. But now, he said, after this story, everyone knows me in the whole conference and everyone's talking about me and the kindness that I did. And the impact happened to help me in the business that I need. And I thought about the leading mitzvah, goreret mitzvah. When we connect to God, when we do a kind deed, we don't know the effects. We don't know the impacts. We don't know how far it traveled. But one thing we know for sure. We connected to the Almighty. We did what He asked us to do. And God willing, It'll impact us in a positive way. So go out there and do a mitzvah. Do something meaningful, spiritual, that connects you to the Almighty. Because you never know where it'll lead to. And the positive impact you know. But one thing for sure you'll know. It'll connect you to Hashem. Have a great day.